Welcome to another lesson of Microsoft Excel. In this lesson, we're going to learn about FV and PV, which are the formulas which you can search from here, and what are these FV and PV, okay? So when you go to financial, you might find FV and PV, but if you can't find it, just what you have to do is just type it. And let's see maths, let's see if it's here. It's not here either. Go to more functions, statistics, information. Okay, let's just skip that. And so let's learn what FV and PV is. You can see from right here, FV stands for future value, while PV stands for present value. Okay, so the FV function is a financial function that returns the value or the future value of an investment given periodic constant payments with a constant interest rate, while the PV function returns the present value of an investment. Okay, so as you can see that I have a basic requirements which are needed for the function, which is right here, which is I have rate of interest, number of years, and then periodic installments. Okay, and you can see that we're going to get the results here, which is future value and present value. We're going to use both of the functions individually, and we're going to go through that one by one. And so let's start off with knowing what it is. Okay, so the present value is the current value, okay, of the future sum of money or cash flows given of a particular rate of return for a specific period of time, while the future value, or FV, refers to the worth of the asset in the future, like after a specific period of time given the current value and the interest rate. Okay, so how did this come to picture with coming into picture? Because of the time value of money, you understand that the value of money is not constant. It will change. There are many factors that influences the value of your money. It's the whether you say the inflation rate, the interest rate, or the currency value. Everything determines the going time period, and all of these things determine the value of money. So what money are you holding right now? The same purchasing power of that money would not remain same after a certain period of time. So that is why FV is used. And after say 3 years, or maybe as it's in here 6 years, the value of money might increase or decrease. Before 3 years of or 6 years of time, before 5 years of time, it may be the same because of the fluctuation of the value of money, which is because of the time period. This is how present value comes into picture, and we try to figure out what is the present value if we are going to get a certain amount of money after a certain period of time. What is the value right now? So we will be profitable for us. This is how we know and use the PV function, which comes into picture, and we try to calculate how much benefit we will be getting, because someone says like you are having tens thousands of dollars, and after 1 or 2 years of time and give you 11 to 12,000 and will be okay. And because you have to figure out what was the present value of that amount of money at today's period of time, then only you can perfectly analyze if it would be beneficial for you or not. And seems like way what you mean by future or value, or future value is what the worth of the asset in the future after a specific period of time. Okay, so let's start off by using the function, because I've told you a lot of description. Okay, so let's start off with the FV, or the future value. So it's most probably in here, FV. Yes, it is here. And when you go in P, you might find PV. Okay, yeah, right over here. So as this is a financial function, you will find that in financial function if you can't or type in. Okay, so I'm going to do is type in equal FV first. When I select on FV, we're gonna select the rate, or the rate of interest, which I have right here. So as I want, you can also type in the percentage, but you can also use cell reference. So I'm going to use cell reference as C2, comma, and then I'm going to use N per, or the number of year. Okay, N per is the number of year. So I'm going to select this and comma again, and then PMT. What is the PMT? Okay, that is the periodic money. Okay, that's the money, okay, which you're gonna use, which I have right here is periodic installment, which I have right here. I'm just gonna select on this, and then comma, and then the PV, okay, which is the PV, which is right over here. Okay, and if you don't want to select the PV, just skip on it, or maybe you can just close the parentheses, or if you want to select on it, just maybe type in 0. Okay, let's say 0. Okay, 0 and comma, and now what we have here is the end of the period of beginning of the period. Okay, whichever type you want. Well, I prefer like using the end of the period most of the times, but you can also use beginning of the period because that is also useful according to whatever you need. Okay, so I'm not gonna like say that use like 0 or 1 because this is according to your work. So as I need like the end of the period, so I'm going to type in 0 again, close the parentheses, and hit enter. And you can see that according to this, okay, according to this rate, number of year, and periodic installment, in the future I will get this much of money. Okay, in 6 years I will get this much of money, which is $39,719.68. Okay, so this is the future value. Now, so this is gonna like determine like what type of profit you're gonna make or what type of money you're gonna make in the future according to the rate, year, and periodic installment. Now, what we're gonna do is, how are we gonna find out the present value? So if you want to find out the present value, we can do the same work as I've told you. So the present value is just the present amount of money which you have, the current value of the future sum of money or cash flows. And you might think that why I have this -4, like why I have the periodic installment in -4,000. So I put it in -4,000 because of the cash inflow and cash outflow. So minus is for cash outflow, okay? So the number of cash outflow you're given, okay? So this is -4,000. So in that amount of year, you're getting this. And if you want to do inflow, just like I remove like minus, okay? This is all just ref preferences because I like using the minus because this gives me the accurate amount, okay? Or it just helps me to find out the outflow of cash. So I just express outflow of cash as -4,000. You can just also maybe like remove the minus and then press OK. Okay. Well, that is also doable, but I prefer this so it doesn't stay like that. Okay. So next, what I'm gonna do is do the same thing with PV. So what we're gonna do first is just type in equal PV, or just go to formulas, financial, and then do it. So I'm gonna select on the rate, comma, and then n per, which is 6. Okay, for here I'm gonna just type in 6, comma, PMT is gonna be -4,000. Okay, comma again, and then what I'm gonna do is FV, let's say 0, comma 0, or maybe let's start with beginning of the period this time, 1. Close the parentheses, hit enter, and you can see that at the beginning of the month or beginning of it, I'm just gonna get this type of money, or I'm getting this type of money. Okay, so as you can see from here, I have not a cell reference, but instead I just used exact data, which I could put right here. And if you want to change the data, just go here and then change, let's say 7,000. So this is my present value, and if I do 7,000 here too, instead of using this, let's say -7,000 equal, so 69,000 is the future value. So we're gonna do it like 2 more times so you can do it. So you can also start practicing with me, which what we're gonna do is for your future value, make sure you have your rate of interest, the number of year, and the amount of money, which is the periodic installment, which I have right here. But you can also do other like values. That's just depends on you. Even if you have a whole chart, that is also doable. Let's say you might have like, okay, let's copy this, paste it, paste it, paste it. Or maybe you might also have like names. Okay, let's say you have names over here, and now you're gonna just type 1, and let's say their names are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, well that's something else. But when you have like other names too, and you might have like other people's rate of interest, other people's year, let's say it has 8 and this has 1, and this should be like 2. Whatever the value is, you can just find it by using this formula or this function. So let's start off by doing this. What I'm going to do is type in FV, and the rate should, let's say it's going to be 40%. Okay, just type in 40%, comma, and then n per. So let's say 2 years, comma, and then PMT, let's say minus 24,000. Okay, 2400, comma, let's say 0, comma, and then end of the period, like, okay, close it. So for that guy, it's just gonna be 5,760, which you have right here is 40% C9, and let's say let's do it again, FV, let's say C9. Okay, so it should be 4 years, which I have right here. So according to that, so this is how you can like find out the FV and PV. But if you want to see PV again, just type in equal PV, and then just find the rate. Let's say the rate is this one, G7, and per, let's say 6 years, comma, and then PMT. My bad, I didn't select the rate. Instead I like put on the value, let's say 20% here, comma, my bad, and then go to PMT. Let's say PMT should be this one, and now I'm gonna do is comma 0, comma 0 again, close the parentheses, hit enter, and you can see the value is this much. Okay, so this is how you can work with PV and FV in Microsoft Excel, and this is quite simple, so you just need a bit of practice, and when you do it like a couple of times, you will just get used to it. Okay, hope you understood everything, and thank you for watching this video.